Modern man lives in conditions that can be called extreme for the body: constant stress, information overload, a sedentary lifestyle, an abundance of processed foods, and a polluted environment. At first glance, viruses, bacteria, or a genetic predisposition seem to be the main threats to our health. However, more and more often, experts in the field of natural and functional medicine point to another, more hidden, but no less destructive cause: chronic acidification of the internal environment of the body. It is the acidic environment that becomes a breeding ground for the development of inflammation, chronic diseases, premature aging, and decreased immune defenses. According to adherents of alkalizing therapy, aging is not just an inevitable biological process, but the result of oxidative stress caused by a lifestyle. Overeating, especially foods high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, emotional burnout, lack of oxygen due to shallow breathing, and lack of physical activity. In such conditions, the cells begin to suffocate, the metabolism slows down, and the elimination of toxins is disrupted. In response, the body tries to compensate for the imbalance by pulling alkaline minerals, calcium, magnesium, potassium, from bones, teeth, and muscles, which in the long run leads to osteoporosis, fatigue, and other systemic disorders. This is where the principle of alkalinization comes to the rescue. Not as a trendy diet, but as a deep physiological approach to restoring homeostasis. One of the most striking examples of this approach is the famous Karavaev alkaline harvest, created on the basis of centuries-old knowledge about the healing power of plants and modern ideas about the synergy of phytocomponents. This collection is not just a blend of herbs, but a carefully thought-out formula of 24 medicinal plants, each of which performs its own unique role in the overall health support system. The composition of the collection impresses with its harmony and versatility. It combines antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, detoxifying, soothing, and restorative components. For example, birch and pine buds have a powerful antimicrobial effect and stimulate the immune system. Valerian, motherwort, and oregano gently regulate the nervous system, reducing anxiety and improving sleep quality. St. John's wort, chamomile, and calendula relieve inflammation, promote healing of mucous membranes and skin. Nettle, dandelion, and psyllium are real storehouses of vitamins, especially vitamins C, K, and A, and minerals like iron, calcium, and silicon, which are so necessary in the modern nutritional deficiency in the diet. Mint, sage, and eucalyptus support the respiratory and digestive systems by improving gastrointestinal secretion and motility. Buckthorn and Alexandrian leaf provide a gentle cleansing of the intestines, promoting natural detoxification without irritation of the mucous membrane. The special value of the collection is not only its composition, but also the principle of operation. All components mutually reinforce each other, creating an effect significantly exceeding the sum of the individual parts. This is synergy, when the whole becomes greater than the sum of its components. So, practice shows that after 2 to 3 months of regular intake, most people experience noticeable improvements. The work of the intestines normalizes, the feeling of constant fatigue disappears, the condition of the skin and hair improves, and the emotional background stabilizes. Moreover, according to data based on long-term observations by followers of the technique, a course of 8 years can completely free the body from chronic parasitic invasions, fungal colonies, and pathogenic microflora, creating an environment inside in which these microorganisms simply cannot exist. So, the method of preparation of the collection is actually simple and accessible to everyone. You just take 10 teaspoons of the herbal mixture and pour them into about 1.2 liters of boiling water. Then, you boil it for about 2 or 3 minutes, let it infuse for 2 to 3 hours, and store it in the refrigerator. You should take it 20 to 30 minutes before meals, starting with small doses, like 1/3 of a cup, 3 times a day, and gradually increase the volume to a comfortable amount. The recommended course is 2 to 3 months of admission, followed by a 1-month break, which helps to restore the sensitivity of the body. Interestingly, this approach has not only a physiological but also an energetic rationale. Proponents of phytotherapy claim that each plant carries certain vibrations, harmonious electromagnetic fields capable of, reconfiguring our subtle body to the frequency of health. In an urban environment where people are almost completely isolated from nature, such an herbal drink becomes not just a medicine, but a source of vibrant, healing energy. Nevertheless, despite the naturalness of the composition, the collection has a pronounced pharmacological effect. Therefore, it is important to consult a doctor before taking it. especially if you have chronic diseases of the gastrointestinal tract, kidneys, or allergies to plants of the family Compositaceae, for example, chamomile, yarrow, or wormwood. Also, pregnant and lactating women should take the collection only under the supervision of a specialist. In conclusion, it is definitely worth emphasizing that Karavaev's alkaline collection is not a magic pill, but a deep systemic support for the body, based on respect for natural laws. He reminds us of an important truth. Health is not about fighting disease, but about restoring inner balance. And sometimes, in order to feel younger, more energetic, and more harmonious, it is enough to return to what nature itself gives us, in the right combination, with awareness and gratitude.